Why don't you tell us why it's an important time right now to be paying attention to the new building codes that are coming in across Canada?
Yeah, certainly we were really pleased to see the turnout at this morning's presentation on building codes. The changes coming, coming right across the country right now in the codes are a big deal for the window and door industry. It's very new to the door industry and a lot of changes there. We'll be doing another presentation later in the show on doors. But it's now, I've been talking about this since the 2008 when the NAF standard came out, but now it's down to the crunch. Manufacturers are starting to realize that they're down within less than a year to being compliant in a lot of provinces, and technically there's compliance requirements in a lot of provinces right now. Enforcement's going to be one of the big issues. Certainly Fenestration Canada views education as a huge component right now, so we're thrilled with the turnout that we got here at WinDoor this year. One of our efforts will be helping to educate building officials so they better understand the changes in the code environment and what's expected for windows and doors right across the country.
So encapsulate, if you can, what window and door suppliers and I suppose installers are going to have to do differently that they haven't had to do in the past.
One of the key things for window manufacturers, door manufacturers, is having their products tested and labeled. The new code now requires, because the standard says you have to label your product, you have to have a label of the performance requirements on your product. That's what the building officials are going to be looking for right across the country. It's been enforced in British Columbia that way for a lot of years. Some manufacturers do, some don't. It's an enforcement concern. But as building officials learn that there is a label requirement on the product, they're going to look for the label. And if the label's not there, it could create a situation where the job, you can't get an occupancy permit on a house or a building. That's a big deal. You don't want to be the supplier to the developer on a large job or the builder on a house. You don't want to be the supplier holding up occupancy. It's going to cost you money somewhere along the way. So that's a key and critical concern. Installers, the push now with the A440.4 installation standard, the CSA A440.4 installation standard as a requirement by code, installers are going to have to learn what's required now to properly install the product and get it in there. With everything going on energy efficiency and higher performance on air and water on products, if they're not installed properly, it could all be for naught.
What has to appear on these labels? What are they looking for in these?
They're looking for the performance requirements on the label. So the full requirements out of the NAF standard will tell you the performance rating of the product, but in addition, the Canadian supplement to the standard requires that you show the positive and negative design pressure, the water penetration pressure, and the Canadian air leakage, both for infiltration and exfiltration. All of that's required on the label.